If you want to hear my thoughts on 2 palettes that are currently available as part of the Sephora VIB sale, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène with another video, and I've been toying around with the idea of doing this video, and I realized that the Sephora VIB sale is going to be over tomorrow, and I really should, if I'm going to, I should do this video before the end of the sale. So I am hoping to have it up today, which is the 26th of August. And what I want to do is I want to talk about 2 palettes. One of them is the Glitter Storm, and the other one is the 10-year anniversary Kat Von D palette. And let's start with the Glitter Storm. And the reason I want to talk about these 2 palettes is that right now they are on discount in the Sephora sales section, and you get 20% off on top. So if these are 2 palettes that you were curious about, then I can offer some information. So first off, on Glitter Storm, I have done a swatches video and I have done a first impressions video, and I will have them showing up right here in succession as I start talking about this palette. I do love the packaging of this palette, the exterior at least. I mean, this just makes me very happy. It's very, it's very nice. And I did get it on deep discount some time ago. And this is what the inside looks like. 9 shadows, and then there's a full-size mirror in this palette. Now, one thing that I have heard now from 2 people, one is Cosmetic Chaos, is that this part of the palette is very flimsy and it has flipped up on them. And this is not something that has been my experience, but I would caution that you may want to consider that your palette may have issues. If that's not a big deal to you, that you care more about the robustness of the outside packaging, then I would say you'd probably be happy with it. The outside packaging itself is very, very solid. It's just really unfortunate that the base of the palette, the insert, is so cheap. And I never knew it until I heard her problems and I looked at it and realized how easily that could be an issue for folks. That said, I also realized that it would probably be not so hard to pop this out if I ever decide to depot them. But right now, I really, really enjoy the packaging and don't see why I would depot them at this point. Now, as I said before, I have swatches, I have a first impressions. I really enjoyed using this palette when I first tried it, and I think that all of the shadows are solid. I find Ciate shadows, especially matte and shimmer formulas, they're just really good. If you watch a video that's coming up, I'm going to have another Ciate palette that I'm talking about and just kind of gushing over the quality. So I'm very partial to Ciate London products. I think that they do a really great job. So this glitter palette is right now a real steal at the bargain of the discount plus 20%. I think it's a solid little palette, and it's nice that it's 9 shadows. So plus every single color in this palette works with all the other ones. So if you are a person who tends to be unsure about doing a look, it's really, really hard, near impossible to mess up with this palette, in my opinion. I guess if you try hard enough, you could. But I think that you can be quite confident with that palette, is what I'm saying. This is the other palette, and this is the one that I was wondering about. And I have had this palette since Memorial Day weekend. For some reason, Memorial Day, Canada gets a sale from Sephora as well, which I will never understand. But it went on half off during that weekend and along beyond that. And it still is. And I just decided, I had looked at swatches in store, gosh, it feels like a year ago, and again, Cosmetic Chaos, I think it's Cosmetic Chaos, the way she says her channel, but Candace, anyway, really enjoys this palette, and I just decided, okay, I just decided to get it, and I have not touched it yet. And I have not touched it yet because I really wanted to update everybody on my no buy, which it's obvious at this point I have broken it, but I want to do a whole video on it, explaining the situation and where I'm at. And yeah, there's a lot more to talk about. I don't want to do it here because I want this to be a short video. But I want to show you the palette and the inside. I just opened it to make sure that everything was okay with it. Full size mirror again. And this one is, I enjoy Kat Von D shadows. And this palette was a real issue for me because I was just torn. And I am just getting to the point where I'm tired. I'm tired of cancel culture, and I'm tired of, I'm not condoning what people are doing that is ill-advised or wrong. I just don't want the negativity, and if I know that something is a desire that I know I will appreciate, for example, I really appreciate the artwork on this palette, and I really enjoy the aesthetics of the palette itself, that I will use it and have no qualms about it. And I started using the lightning liners again, and I am going to probably focus on the quads next year. I need to stop and just use my stuff. And if there's something that I want, I need to not care about what everybody else is going to say, because at the end of the day, it's me spending my money and on things that I want to spend on. And this is just, I'm just going to do this. And there are there are a ton of objectionable people out there, and I'm just over it. I just want it to be about the makeup. Yeah. I really gave this a lot of thought. Obviously, I've been thinking about it since Memorial Day weekend, and that's where I'm at. But anyway, the reason I'm doing this is I want you to see swatches of this palette. I have not touched this palette, and I know there are swatch videos out there, but this is based on me wanting to give my impressions on this palette that is now half or more off. So I'm going to get my fingers right into the palette and give you some swatches on my forearm. So let's get right into it. So I'm swatching the first 4 mattes in the palette. And mattes are always a little bit tricky. The orange felt a little gritty. Mattes are notorious for needing a double swatch, and that's across the board, pretty much any brand. Okay, so let's do this again. That's a horrible swatch. Let's try this. And that's just my coordination, not the not the shadows themselves. Okay, so they're buildable. I'm not impressed with the orange and the yellow, but it could be that they're somewhat close to my skin tone, so I'm just going to really get in there because I want to show you the color. It could be my lousy swatching too, I'm not sure. My hands are very dry today. Okay, let me just scooch forward. So this is what the swatches look like. Really not the best swatches. Well, I'm going to wipe my hand and get the next 4 done. Okay, next 4 we've got these guys right here. That's what we're going to do. Again, the same 4 fingers. That gold I have been waiting to get into. And a very light color that I really don't think is going to show on my skin tone, but we will try. It'll be a very nice, easy base color for me anyway. Okay. Here are the 4. And let's go right after the yellow. Oh yeah. That is very nice. That's not half bad, but you know what? I washed my hand, and so it's a little bit more moisturized, and maybe that is helping with swatches. So that is a lesson to me that I should put lotion or wet my hands before doing swatches. There we go. Just because they're so dry. My hands, not the shadows. Okay, well actually, yeah, these swatches, look, compared to the first 4, right? These are so much better. So much better. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the same thing with my hand as I did for the other 4, redo them and show you the swatches because it is night and day what those 4 are. So hang on. Except for the red, I think that these are all better. The red, I'm not sure. What do you think? I'm not sure if it made a huge amount of difference. Now, these other 4, I did not do a double swatch, so I'm going to do that next. And I just want to build up the red just a little bit because it just looks too streaky to me. Okay. All right, so let's just go back and do the second set of 4. This is turning into a very long swatches video. Okay, so here we go. Oh yeah. Very nice. And this one. Oh boy. That is a very nice color. I am very partial to this one. I think that looks great. It's a very olive green. And that olive green and this kind of a beigey peach, I like that combo a whole lot. So that is the first row of the 2 rows of that palette. And I'm going to now swatch on the other arm to show you the other 8. All right, so the first 4 in the second row that we're going to be swatching are these 4. And I will not lie, I'm looking forward to this purple and this color big time. So we'll get to that purple on the first pass. The first one is a cream color. The next one is a duochrome that looks like a peachy pink. Then we've got a kind of a beigey medium brown. And we have a sparkly purple. So here we go. I doubt you're going to be able to see this one. It's so close to my skin tone, it's not even funny. Yeah, I can't even see it. Oh yeah. Definitely pinky peach sparkle. Third one is that beigey brown. And it's a matte, so it doesn't show up that well. And then we've got the purple, which it's almost a little bit see-through. It's not very opaque, so we definitely have to do these 4 again. But I guarantee you there's a color here, you just can't see it. At least in my viewfinder and the mirror underneath this camera, I cannot see it at all. So let's try this again. This one's going to be tricky. I can't even tell where I did the last swatch. So when I say it's like my color, my skin color, I'm not kidding. It's going to be a good base to set my makeup, that's for sure. What I mean by that is set the primer to do my eye look. Okay, that looks a lot more on the second pass. And this matte is having trouble. Don't know if I can even that out a little bit more. No, that's all it's going to give me. So the thing is with mattes, sometimes I find they don't swatch very well. And that purple, my pinky is just not big enough. Just try to give you a better swatch here. Just feels like it's so small. Okay, so there are the 4. But again, if you can see something, you have fantastic vision. All right, so we're going to do the last 4 of the entire palette. So we are doing this deeper section here. So this duochrome I'm really curious about, and then some blues and greens here. I guess there's a gray. The second one is a gray, but I think these 3 would do a fantastic look right here. I think it would look so good. Oh yeah, there's There is some color saturation here. Okay, here we go. That duochrome I'm curious about. The browny bluish green always looks good. There's that gray. That's a bit of a dusty matte. And then that blue. Holy cow. Look at that blue. Okay, well, the last three here are mattes, and they are always problematic to swatch. So let me just go for a second pass. They're not, the duochromes are not as buttery as I would expect from a kind of a shimmer type formula. Okay, so here we go. Duochrome. Oh yeah, so much better on the second pass. Gray. I think a little bit of the green got into the gray there. There's the green. And again, the blue. And that blue does not need any help. Wow. Just going to put a little bit more of the gray on because I think, yeah, I think a little bit of green got mixed up in here. Just want to give you as true of a look as possible. So here we go. There are 8. Remember, this one is very, very light. And that is what they look like. So I'm going to bring my 2 forearms very close to the camera so that you can see everything from the swatches. Here we go. So hopefully you are able to get a sense. I should do this so that you can see all 8 together. I'm hoping that this gives you a sense of what is in the palette when it comes to swatches. So, not having put it on my eyes yet, what do I think of the swatches? I am very happy with these colors right here. I think that those are fantastic. I do want to get into this blue, and I'm not huge on blue eyeshadow, but this one it has so much impact. It's great. These two are no-brainers. A bluish brown always looks good, at least on eye looks I do. This shimmery purple, I have a lot of shimmery purples. I don't think there's anything super exciting about it. This one is a peachy pink duochrome, but the interesting thing is, I think it's duochrome. But I think the interesting thing is there's more orange base in this than I'm used to seeing, so that makes it a little bit different. I don't have any problem with all the mattes in here. I'm just going to say that it is not unusual for mattes to not swatch super well, and I find that how they swatch and how they show up on the eye, they don't necessarily have any correlation, but at least you can see the color. And then on this side, I really am excited about this combination. I think that these 4 shadows, these 4 mattes, can do a very, very nice matte look, and they make me think of the Beauty Rust colors from Colored Rain. There are a few mattes in there that very much make me think of these. This gold is super nice. Got some nice micro shimmer in there. I really enjoy it. Don't mind that peach. Don't mind that kind of it's a greenish brown. Very interesting color. And this one is probably the color I'm least interested in the whole palette. You could say that I got the palette despite this color. So it's not something that is super exciting to me, but at the same time, it could look really nice on the lower lash line. Maybe with a gold look, having this on the lower lash line might look really nice. So I won't discount it. I'm just going to say it's not one that I'm jazzed about to begin with. But this is the palette overall. I think that for me, it's right now $31 Canadian, less $6. It would be $25. It would be a $25 palette. So based on what I see here, I think that it is a very more than a fair price for a 16 shadows for $25. You can do the math. It's less than $2 a shadow. I think it is a steal. And so that is a very big reason why, again, I wanted to do this video. In conclusion, I think that the Ciate Glitter Flip is a very solid 9-pan palette, and the outside, at least the outside construction of the palette is very good, and I stand by how I feel about the outside. Cautionary note that not all of the insides of the palettes are built properly because there have been some complaints. So that is that palette. And then the Kat Von D palette, I have to say that for the price it's a very nice palette. The palette itself is quite solid. The shadows inside I feel are quite solid. I am, at this point, without having done a first impressions, I am very satisfied with the palette. The thing is with the first impressions is that I have other Kat Von D shadows. I have 3 of her quads and I have the Pastel Goth, and I have used her shadows before and always have been fine with them. So I suspect the same will be the case with this palette. That said, I will let you know because I'm obviously going to play with this palette some more. But yes, that is what I wanted to do. I thought this was going to be a short video, but it's not. I wanted to give you some information in case you were considering either one or both of these palettes during the sale, because the sale is going to be over tomorrow as I film this. So yeah, let me know what you think of those 2 palettes. I would appreciate your comments below. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it every time. And I do look forward to seeing you in the next one. But for now, take care.